welcome to Beyond the Wind, the podcast about the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss, where we reread the series chapter by chapter, discuss some theories, and just spend some time in the beautiful world of Tamrind. I'm Marcy, and again, I'm joined with Leo. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. And what about you?
I'm also doing good. Today we will go through chapter 31 and 32. Before that, I have a little question for you. So I was on Reddit, and somebody said that there's a theory that Rothfuss actually had a draft of part 3, and it just was bad, and that's why it hasn't got published yet. And for me, this was not a possible world that part 3 would be bad, and yeah, I feel now that we will be disappointed. So how about you? What do you think about this?
I may think it can be that the author thinks that they were bad. I think it's very easy to be very critic of your own work, and I could imagine the author saying, "Oh, that's bad," but I'm not sure I would have felt that way also. Um, I think at this point, I think I might like any third part that there exists.
Even if it's bad? Because,
Yeah,
for example,
I don't know if it cannot be that bad, right?
for example, for Game of Thrones, have you watched that?
No, I didn't.
So Game of Thrones is, yeah, probably one of the best written TV series I have watched, and it was so good. And for me, it didn't came to my mind that this could have a bad ending because the writer did such a great stuff, and also the TV series just made such a good series out of it that it was not in my world possible that the ending could be bad. But the ending is so bad, and it makes everything which happened before just makes it feel sour and not good. So I definitely would rather have no end of Game of Thrones than the last season that we got. And I think I would also just have book 1 and 2 as it is for Kingkiller Chronicles, then have a really bad book 3.
To me, there is a big difference between graphic medium and written medium, because in graphic medium you have no room left for imagining just like all things, and you're like given the story, and if it's bad, it really is bad. There's no escape to it. But if it's written, it's all in your mind, right? And I think your mind writes a little bit too and imagines the things that you want to see and stuff. So I think if in the case of a book, it cannot really be that bad if you love the universe, I believe. In in my mind, if I read anything from a third book, I will be quite content. Do you have ever not finished a book series?
There are many series that I have not finished, but not because I thought that they were bad, just boring, and then I stopped.
I feel like every time I start some book series, I finish them, because once you like the universe, it's always good to imagine the rest.
Okay. Yeah, I understand, but I'm still disagreeing that it also a book can really be. I mean, you can only do so much with your imagination, and if the character just does some shitty things and yeah, stuff goes downhill, then yeah, you cannot imagine it being good.
What will be your biggest fear of something that happens in the third book that you will really dislike?
Oh, good question. I don't know that. There's so much possibility. I don't know that Denna is bad or evil, or that Kvothe was just insane, and there are many possibilities just for me to go downhill. Things that I always dislike, and this was also in Game of Thrones. There was one character who started as not such a good character, and then he had great character development, and over 7 seasons, great character development. And the last season just got shitty again, and yeah, all this development was for nothing, and stuff like that. That you build something up and then it's for nothing. This is something that I would fear.
For example, if crows did some really bad things, like for bad reasons, Could it be a turn off for you, or would you be interested anyway?
Yeah, I think this could be a turning point for me if he does bad things for bad reasons. Yeah. All right, but yeah, let's hope that book 3 will be good. I mean, the Reddit post was that, I don't know, 10 years ago he gave this draft to his beta readers and they told him, no, you can't publish this. This is really, really bad. And I mean, then he had 10 years to fix this, right? So
I I think people can be very very how to say it nicely. They can be really perfectionist for the authors. I don't have a good word for it.
mm,
Um, but I think the critics may be really hard when you have two books that are really good. It's really hard to satisfy people for the third book.
yeah. I mean, I will send you the Reddit post and maybe I will put them in the comments on YouTube or Spotify as well.
Hmm.
So you can look up this theory. I think it was about something that Kvothe was insane or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I just want to say that will be the really bad like ending, like it was all a dream,
Yeah.
such stuff. Yeah, okay. There's some point where you'll be really disappointed in some kind of twist in the end,
Yeah.
but most of the time, if you enjoy the story, it's okay if the end is not that good for me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be this amazing end. It just need to be not bad.
Yeah, you talked about the two chapters of today, and these are two chapters with a lot of things happening, but it's very, very everyday life. So he's going to a lot of shop and buying things and getting ready for the trip to the university.
Exactly. Yeah, let's head to chapter 31.
The nature of nobility. The title of the chapter refers to Quoth that tries to play as a noble because he wants to get out of an uncomfortable situation where he has to. I mean, he doesn't ask to, but he goes naked to a clothing shop.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a chapter where he has the two talents which he got from selling his book. And first thing is that he gets some breakfast and then takes a bath. And then instead of putting on his dirty clothes, he goes along naked with a towel around his waist to the streets and goes to a clothes shop and yeah, acts as a noble and gets some clothes there.
What will be your solution if you're very dirty and you want to buy new clothes and you don't want to put the new clothes on your dirty body? Do you know what will you have done?
I mean, I've been in similar situations that after sports, I took a shower and then I saw I missed fresh underwear or I don't know, a fresh T-shirt. Um, I didn't went like that naked as Quoth did, but it happened that I didn't put on any socks or yeah, maybe a jacket without a shirt underneath, stuff like
Mm.
that. How about you?
Yeah, it happened to me also. I tend to forget.
Yeah. Yeah, you talked about the chapter title, The Nature of Nobility. And this is, I think, referring to a little part where Quoth says that a bratty, noble boy who has a rich father is something like nature's great destructive forces, like floods or tornadoes, like a
Mm.
catastrophe. So this refers probably to this, the nature of nobility.
Hmm. Do you think it's something that's still true to our world?
To our world,
Hmm.
um,
Like if
I,
you will see someone's son, then you'll say, "Oh, I'm in for a bad time."
I think I don't know people who have like powerful fathers, so I don't know. I thought about Draco Malfoy who always talks about I'm telling that my father and yeah, or my father he will hear about this. I think that's the quote. But yeah, in our life I think it's just not that common that there are these powerful people, right? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm walking with kids, and sometimes it's very easy to recognize that the kid comes from a very rich area, and he wants to let you know about it, but it doesn't mean that it will be very destructive or constructive. I mean, it
Mm,
they are all kind of people, so I don't think it's so much true to our world. Maybe there's a slight tendency, but not a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, even if that's the case that people are sharing that they have money, I mean, it's hard to affect you negatively, right? I mean,
Mm.
it's not like, I don't know, they will buy your working place and will fire you. So I think
Mm.
that's not happening today. All right, yeah. I think what we can also tell here is that the nature of nobility kind of can refer to Kvothe's bloodline because he actually very, very likely is a noble, right? So he is
Mm-hmm.
pretty much confirmed. No, I think he actually said that his mother is a noble and
Yeah.
ran away. Um, and yeah, this kind of makes him a noble as well. So yeah, also
Mm-hmm.
fitting here.
Mm-hmm. I think what I really liked in this chapter is the description of how people treat you depending on what you look, and I think that's something that's very, very present all in our life. I don't know if you had like good hair days and bad hair days, and you look and you feel like it makes a difference because people look at you differently, and I think it's something that we have a lot or in our society that attractivity makes a lot in our social exchanges and
Yeah, for
interactions.
sure.
Also, what I liked in this chapter is at some point Cross is talking with the innkeeper, and he says to him, "You have a lovely inn here. I'd count myself lucky to have one as nice when I've grown up."
Yeah, do you think he feels lucky right now in his present day to have an inn like this?
Mm, I'm not sure we know that he feels good about the inn that he has, right?
Yeah, I think he is not happy right now, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, most likely is the inn is just okay for him, but not that good.
Yeah.
I also imagine it's very different to have an inn in Chabin and an inn in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing is that we have this quote where he says, "A gentleman's hand is never far away from his purse." And I also think that that's just funny that apparently he was with a whore. This is a story that he tells. And she took his clothes, but yeah, apparently his purse was still with him. And later we see in book 2 with the mayor that he also remembers this quote where the mayor has his purse, yeah, very close to him. And yeah, this is where all this starts.
I mean, in a world where you don't have like some credit cards and stuff in the internet that are secured for you, if you lose your money, you lose your money. There's like
Yeah,
no backup. So
yeah,
I would understand it.
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty much all that I have highlighted in this chapter. It's a lot of nice things happening, but it's not a lot to analyze, I think.
Yeah, yeah, but I really think it's very funny how he goes there. And I also like very much the innkeeper and the conversation that he has with Quoth, because I think, yeah, he says that for long bath it should take 2 pennies or 2 hours of hard work, once with the stuff and once with the dishes. And they make a fair deal that first he does clean the stuff and then take a bath and then he should take the dishes. And then he says Quoth doesn't want to do the dishes. And yeah, because Quoth is just nice and charming, I think you can see this here very, very well. He gave him the penny back that he would have had to pay for the doing the dishes or not doing the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think just these chapters that we had so far and also the next one, there are really, really nice people there, right? For example, last
Mm-hmm.
week we had the owner of the bookstore, and he also gave Quoth some money because, yeah, he is just nice and charming. And yeah, after he had these false receipt made, he gave him, I think, 2 jots or something and said sorry for the false receipt. And
Mm.
now this guy gives him some money back. And yeah, next chapter we will see that Quoth returns
Mm-hmm.
the favor and yeah, gives also some money back. And yeah, I like this very, very much.
Yeah, I think it's picturing a very nice image of handcrafts people and like people that are walking and working hard. And I think that's a very nice image. And I think they want to show that if you're working and if you're doing your work well, and you will be a good person. It seems like it's like the idea about it. Also, it seems like the handcraftsmen are very talented. For example, in the next chapter, there will be the shoemaker, and it seems like he can do everything. Well, that's compared to shoe, and I'm not sure if that's true. I don't imagine the handcraftsmen being so good in the past. I don't know. There was like a lot of technology missing, and I think it should have been really tough to make good products.
I actually believe this. I don't know. I once had, I don't know how to say this in English, like something that you put in your shoe to to balance your body. I don't know. And yeah, when I said, no, it's a little bit hurting there or something like that, he 3 minutes and he did some work and it felt amazing afterwards. And I think, yeah, if you work like 30, 40 years in this handcrafts in this area, then you get really, really good. And yeah, it didn't depend then on mass production. I think quality was something that you really had to get to.
Yeah.
And also one thing, what I was thinking about, because people are giving here money for free. Like we had it last chapter, we have now this chapter, and we have next chapter. And I was thinking about it because I kind of would like to have this, and I think maybe it's just me and I'm just not socially that capable of this, but for example, when you go to the restaurant, I feel inclined or pressured to leave a tip. And I think it would make feel me much better that I give a tip if I really enjoy or really think that the person, like deserved it, or like I feel like it. You know what I mean? Like in these books, in these chapters, I think they feel like leaving the money or giving the money. And also in the US, I think there's always 20% tip on the receipt. Like it's pre-decided for you and you don't have a choice. And yeah, I kind of wish that it wouldn't be like this.
Yeah, I mean, the best would be that everyone gets paid enough to live from their work.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, for example, I would never think about going to a shoe shop and giving like a little bit more money because I really like the service. But I think it's a nice idea and something that's gone away from our society.
Yeah. Okay, should we head to chapter 32?
Yeah, sure.
Chapter 32, Coppers, Cobblers, and Crowds. In this chapter, Kvothe buys some shoes, as we just discussed. And this is also the chapter where we, for the first time, see Denna.
Do we already see her?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's the woman they are talking about?
Yeah, the girl.
Ah.
Yeah, for sure. It's said that there's this girl who's probably 1 year older than Kvothe. That's
The dark-haired girl?
Yes, a dark-haired girl.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, maybe let's start in the beginning of the chapter. So Kvothe wants to go to the university, and he knows that in Hillside, I think, that there should be some wagons leaving. And yeah, because he was scared, he kind of slipped into a shoe shop and noticed, I don't have any shoes. Let's buy some shoes.
What I've been asking myself, at some points there's some kind of questions. Like it says a boy your age only gets these fits one way, and it's talking about the fits that have scars and calluses, and that's very been used. And then it says he looked up at me, making it a question. I nodded. What do you think is the one way they are talking about?
What do you mean?
Is it something specific? Are they talking about being homeless, or are they talking about another part of being homeless? What do you think they are talking about?
I think just living without shoes in your life, and not wearing shoes for many years, also in winter, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Did you have anything else in mind?
Not really, but I have thought maybe that's something that was like getting beaten up or something.
Yeah. What I forgot to say that this is probably my favorite chapter. Um,
Oh.
yeah, when I first read it, I thought it was just very, very beautiful. I liked the moments between the shop owner and Kvothe. And yeah, it doesn't have like the best moments, not the most entertaining moments, not the most exciting moments. But I think this is something why I like this book so much because I don't know, I like the simple conversations between humans here.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Also, to me, this chapter, I don't know if they are my favorites, but they play a big role. And the reason why I love the stories is because you just see, you just get a really good idea of how Quothe's life is in sometimes.
Hmm.
And I think in general, the books has a very good balance of chapters that are like this and with a lot of things happening, but not much of theory and history behind it. And there's a few chapters with a lot of context and lore, and I think it's a really good balance.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, maybe just to quickly sum up the scene in the shoe shop. So the owner measures Quill's feet, and then he, of course, sees that, yeah, Quill definitely lived for a long time without any shoes, and he knows that the only place where you get this is if you're homeless. And that's why he puts out some used shoes that belong to his son. And yeah, he kind of says this like, this pair, so the good pair, costs about 1 talent. But these shoes are used, and I don't sell used shoes. And this is also such a nice, beautiful way to say that you can have those shoes for free. Instead of just saying it, he says, I don't sell used shoes.
Mm.
And then, yeah, Quoth takes these and leaves behind 2 copper coins. Yeah, just for gratitude. And maybe I will read out the quote. Yeah, here. I knew that he was trying to do me a favor, and a week ago I would have jumped at the opportunity for free shoes. But for some reason I didn't feel right about it. I quietly gathered up my things and left a pair of copper jots on his stool before I left. Why? Because pride is a strange thing, and because generosity deserves generosity in return. But mostly because it felt like the right thing to do, and that is reason enough. So what do you think about it? Because I've heard many times of you that you kind of are skeptical about Quoth, whether he's a good person or not. And he definitely does some not so good stuff. But if you're reading this, what do you think about him?
Yeah, that's definitely a good side from him. But also, I wondered, I don't remember any conversions, but a copper jots feels like really few money, like a really, a really small amount of money. And it feels like if there is a price, it will be much more. And then you left like a few cents in comparison to it.
I think copper
Maybe it
jots are
doesn't even.
not so little. I think
Okay,
I'm not sure, but I think that 10 jots are 1 talent.
okay.
So I mean,
Okay, so it's still like it's like an amount of a fair amount of the price.
yeah, I think
Fair
it's a,
part of the
a
price.
fifth, a fifth of the price,
Okay. Hmm. Yes, that's not that bad.
but also not too nice.
I mean, if you were really nice, you would buy them, right? But I understand that Quest doesn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, also sometimes you just can accept to allow yourself being helped. I mean, if the shoe owner says that he doesn't sell used shoes, yeah, I think it's fair to accept that help.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against Quest personally. he, he can do whatever he does, and I have nothing to say about it. And I think that's also one part of course. It says generosity deserves generosity in return. That's also a big part of course. Course takes and gives, and he likes to be give and take the same as he gives and take. With Ambrose, he
Yes.
takes a lot of suffer and he gives a lot of suffering, and I think that's here. I I think Quoth is just someone that gives back. It doesn't
Yes,
matter what you give to
definitely.
him, he gives
Yeah, I
back.
think we've talked about this before that Kvothe is nice to the people that he liked, and he is definitely not nice to the people that he doesn't like. Yeah, but I think you've said it well that he gives it back.
Afterwards, Kvothe is going to the Wagoneer because he's looking for a carriage to go to Imre.
Exactly. So Imre, of course, is the city next to the university, and yeah, he talks to. Yeah, it's just a traveling folk, right? I don't know if they are merchants.
I like so there's the first description of Denna, right?
Mm-hmm.
A very slight description, just only that she's 1 year older. And I like the quote that they say in this time. They say, "The boy grows upwards, but the girl grows up."
Yeah, I think that at age 15 makes sense.
But it is say that she was beautiful.
Yeah, how did you not notice that? This is Denna.
Yeah, I think I've just missed this line. At first, I was thinking it was about the wife of the Wagoneer, but it doesn't make sense.
No. Yeah, this is where you meet Denna.
There's also something I wondered. The Wagoneer is talking about how they are traveling, and at some point in days, you walk too slow, you get left behind. So do you reckon they are walking all the way? I was thinking it was some kind of carriage with horses or something.
I think, yeah, they are walking. I think he described the wagons, and there's just one for sleeping, I don't know. And probably they fill the wagons up with some goods.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it seems like they're walking.
So you think the point of traveling together is just this kind of security thing that people are watching up on each other and stuff like this?
Yeah, and I don't know, they probably sleep underneath the wagons and have a campfire, probably. But yeah, it's a good point that if you're walking anywhere, then you can walk alone, in theory. Yeah.
But as the people in Liverpool say, you'll never walk alone.
That's true. You never walk. Good one. Yeah, I also thought that it's nice that Denna was smiling towards Kvothe, but he was shy and looked away because he didn't know what to make out of it. Yeah, I just think this is a beautiful chapter. Can't say anything else about it.
It makes a lot of sense that Kvothe is a bit. He doesn't have any practice. I mean, it talked about very few people in the last times. He talked about even less people of its age. Even as a Edemaru, it seems like he was like the only child or something. So, I mean, it doesn't have enough experience with other young people.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, then one other thing is that Kvothe talks to one of them and talks with him in his language and says, "Thank you for bringing me close to your family." I also like this quote very much. "Thank you for bringing me close to your family." I think it's very, very nice. And you can see that also the person that he says this to really appreciates him knowing his language and saying this to him. And I feel like this is also in our world, that if you surprisingly speak the language of someone else, and yeah, that this is really smiled upon. Okay, anything else about this scene?
I don't think so.
Okay, then last stop before we really make our trip to the university. We visit Trappist one more time.
And he was worried about not being recognized by Trappist, but Trappist is such a good person. He recognizes the person, even though they look different.
Yeah, so of course Kvothe with his new clothes and washed. Even one boy tries to steal from him, and the surprise Kvothe very much. He thinks, "Not here. This is like a sanctuary for us." And then he fears, that Travis even will not notice him. But of course he does.
And I also like the reaction of Trappist. And he says, "I'm leaving. I'm heading inland to Imre." And he says, "Are you then? Well then, I guess you are." It's not so very emotional. But in some way it feels also very understanding.
Yeah, I think so too. And also, Travis is, I don't know, I imagine him he spends all day caring for children who aren't well. I don't expect him to be so much aware of the outside world, maybe, or so much about what Kvothe or other people will do. I mean, not Kvothe, but yeah, I mean, richer folks. So this is completely understandable for me. For me, it feels like he is living in his own little world, a little bit at least. Okay, yeah, I have nothing left for this chapter except to repeat myself and say that this is just a beautiful chapter.
I think it's funny that your favorite chapter is also a chapter where you don't have a lot to say about. I think
I just enjoy it.
It can happen. It makes sense that sometimes you enjoy a thing and sometimes you analyze things, and that doesn't have to be the same.
Definitely. I mean, I can tell you probably 10 scenes that I like more, or 10 moments that I like more, but this chapter, just beautiful. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good, I think, though.
Then we will hear each other next time.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.